Hi besties, how are you all doing? Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we are going to be learning how to make a fitted long skirt with a hip contour and a butt contour effect. Okay, we are going to create a space. It's not your regular long skirt. In this skirt we are going to create a space for your butt and your hip at the back and at the sides. Okay, I used 2 yards of Ankara for this particular skirt, and I folded it by 2 with my hip circumference divided by 4 plus 4 inches allowance. That is for the front piece. So what we have here is the front piece of the skirt. So we are going to cut the front piece first before we cut the back piece. So what we have here is folded into 2 with my hip circumference divided by 4 plus 4 inches allowance. So next I'm going to mark my waist point. I have to remove 1 inch for the band and then place my tape on a straight line. I'll mark my hip point. That's my client's hip point, her knee point, and the full length of the skirt. She wants the skirt to be hanging on her ankle. My chalk was not visible enough, so I'm using the white chalk to make it very visible. This is the knee point and the full length. I also added 1 inch for the folding of the skirt. So this is the length of the skirt we'll be needing. So now I'm going to put on my horizontal measurement. So I will divide my waist circumference by 4. My waist circumference divided by 4. Because there is going to be a dart, I'll add 1.5 inch allowance for the dart and also 2 inches for the skirt allowance. Then on the hips, I'm going to divide my hip circumference divided by 4 minus 1 inch allowance. For my client, her hip circumference divided by 4 is 12. I'm going to minus 1 inch, making it 11. If you watch closely in the video, you see that I minus 1 inch from there. I'm still going to put it back at the back piece of the skirt, but for now let's add the 2 inches allowance after that, and then we go to the knee. At the knee point, we are going to use what you have at the hip circumference divided by 4 minus 1 inch, which is 11. We also removed 1 inch from it, making it 10. So I marked the 10 inches at the knee point, and at the full length I marked the 10 inches also at the full length, and then connect the lines together. So after connecting the lines, the next thing we are going to do is to mark the darts. So for the darts, I will divide my nip to nip measurement. That's my nipple to nipple measurement. So for my client's nipple to nipple is 5.5. So I will, from the center front of the skirt at the waist point, I am going to go in by 5.5 inches. Then I'll mark it. Then the length of the dart is 6. So I'll go down by 6 inches like this, and then mark a straight line. Then at the waist, I'll go in by ½ inch and I'll go out by ½ inch. So the both sides of the dart is ½ inch, and I'll connect it to the full length, the length of the dart at 6. So now after connecting it like that, I am going to cut out all the excesses and also cut out the lining of the skirt. So for the lining, I cut out the length and then I removed the 1 inch for the lining. Remember, we're going to go in by 1 inch. So I make sure that the lining is shorter with 1 inch for the skirt. That's it. So I'm going to cut the dart and the linings together. I like cutting out my darts. So the front piece is aside. Let's now cut the back piece. The back piece is the same thing with the front piece. I remember it's our hip circumference divided by 4 plus 4 inches allowance. So now I'll place the front piece on top of the back piece like this. I'll move it back to create a space for the zip allowance. Okay, so now the back piece is wider than the back piece. Yes, it's wider than the back piece because of the zip allowance that we're going to create here, and also the contour, that's the butt contour effect that we're going to create here now. So now, not your normal skirt, you're just going to create your zipper allowance and leave it like that, then cut out the same thing with the front piece. But now, because we are adding a hip contour, it's not going to be the normal zipper allowance. We are going to do it this way. At the hip point, first going to work on the hip point. Remember, we removed 1 inch from the hip point. So that 1 inch we are going to add. So I'm marking the allowance line for the back piece. This is the back piece that I'm marking on. So that's where the front piece stopped. So I extended the lines of the hip point and on the knee point. Then I'll go out by 1 inch on the hip point. I'll go out by 1 inch. That is to complete the hip point. From the back piece, I will mark, you know, we have 11, so I will extend it to 12 on the back piece. I will make it 12 now. So we are marking that 12 at the back piece, not the front piece. I don't know if you get it. Then I'll go down by 8 inches from the back piece. From the hip point, I will mark 8 inches down to create the butt contour effect. Then I'm going to connect the lines from the waistline to the 1 inch at the hip point and to the 8 inches like this. I'll place my ruler at the hip point and I'll mark it to the 8 inches and to the waist point like this. So now this is how it goes. Now I am going to, from that line that I just marked, come out by 1 inch all the way to the down part of the skirt, okay, to create our zipper allowance and our slit allowance. So after marking down the 1 inch allowance all the way to the full length of the skirt, there is nothing else to do here. We are going to cut out all the excesses right now. Okay, as you can see, we are cutting out the back piece first. We still have the front piece on top of the back piece. So now we are going to use what we have at the front piece of the dart to cut out the back piece of the dart. Okay, I like to cut my dart open. So after cutting out my dart, the next thing I'm going to do is from the center front, the center front is going to come down by 1 inch, so that we are now going to work on the center front. The center point will come down by 1 inch. We are going to have a slit mark at the center front because of the belly, so that our belly, the stomach, will relax very well when we add when she wears it. The skirt will last very well on her waist. So we are going to mark down 1 inch and mark it like this, then cut it out like so. That is after, you're supposed to do this after joining the dart, but I did it here because of the video. So now we did this because we want the skirt to relax on her tummy. Okay, so now we are going to cut to join it. Okay, we are going to start joining. So first off, we are going to join the linings. We are going to join the lining and the material. Remember, the lining is 1 inch shorter, so I'm going to remove another 1 inch from there because I think the skirt will be too long. She wants the skirt to hang on top of her ankle, so I cut out 1 inch again from the lining. So I'm going to fold it in. Okay, we have 2 inches now. We are going to sew on top of it like this. Just sew on top of it like this. Then I'll come back and show you what it's going to look like. And this is what we have after sewing on top of it like this. Remember, we used one side of the back piece for the first illustration. Now I'm going to come down by 2 inches. Remember, we have 2 inches space before the lining there, so I mark that 2 inches space, and for that 2 inches I will fold the material like this, okay, and pin it up to that 2 inches. I'll pin it up like that. I don't know if you guys see what I'm doing here, and I've already stitched my dart. As you can see, I've stitched my dart. Okay, right side facing right side. I'll pin it up on both sides like so, and then sew on each side of it like this, and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like after doing so. So now this is what it looks like after joining all the joinables, the lining. That is how I've shown you how I joined my lining. This is what I have after ironing them. This is the two sides of the back, and I have the front piece also exactly the same. So we are going to work on the back piece now. So from the down part, I'll go up by, I just want to know where our opening, our skirt opening for the back will stop. So I think we are going to stop at 22 inches or 21. So I marked 20 inches for the skirt opening from the back. I marked 20 inches for the skirt opening. I want the skirt, because it's a long skirt, the opening will be very long so that she can walk with it. So now we have 20 inches as the opening from the waist point. I mark down 20 inches for the opening of the skirt. Make sure the two piece is on the same line. Then pin everything up. Pin everything up. After pinning it up, the next thing you're going to do is to create the 1 inch allowance that we marked for the zip. I'm going to put it back here all the way to the waistline, and once I'm done, I will mark the zip point where the zip is going to stop. My client is on the bigger side, so I marked her zip point to be 9 inches. So now this is where the zip is going to stay, and from here to here is where I'm going to sew, and down there is for the skirt opening. And I am done joining where I'm supposed to join, here and here, so I'm going to iron it down. After ironing it, I'll iron down the skirt opening with 1 inch. So some we use hemming gum, some we use, but I prefer to tack my skirt, okay, with my skirt opening. So I will just, after ironing it down like that, I will tack it. I will tack my skirt opening. So after ironing it down, this is what the face looks like. It looks good. So now the next thing we're going to do is to add our waistband. To add my waistband, I will measure the waist of my front piece, the waist of the front piece of the skirt. Whatever I have there, I will put it back. I will put it here and add extra 4 inches allowance, then cut it out. Then what I'm going to have here is 3 inches in width. That's the wideness of the waist. The length of the waistband will be 3 inches. Then if I fold it like this, it will be 1.5 inches. So now I will iron that iron it to be 1.5 inches. That is folding. I'll fold it. Then I will measure out 1 inch, because what we will be needing here is 1 inch waistband. So I'll measure 1 inch for the hemming gum, and I will attach it to one side of the waistband. I will attach it to one side of the waistband with my hemming gum and iron it down, because what we'll be needing there is 1 inch waistband. Then cut out the excesses. Then the remaining ½ inch on that part that I just ironed the hemming gum, not the hemming gum, the hairstay, I'll fold it in. The ½ inch, I will fold it in. You see how I fold the ½ inch in, because I'll use it to close up the waistband for neat finishing inside of it. So the one that does not have pepper stay is the one that I will use for the front piece of the skirt, and the one with pepper stay is the one that will be inside. So this is what I mean. I'll first of all use the one without the pepper stay. I'll attach it to the front piece of the skirt like this, and then sew on it with ½ inch. Okay, so now I'm going to close it up now with the side with the pepper stay, and then pin it up. After pinning it up, I will go ahead and sew on top of it. Okay, if you want your work to be very neat, you sew from the front piece. You sew from the front, the right side of the material. Yes, that's the right word. Here I'll sew from the right side of the material, and for the back piece, I'll close up here, that place that I just marked. I'll close up there. That's where the zipper starts. I'll close up the zipper area and then open it up like this. Okay, and I'll attach it to the right side of the material with the place that does not have a pepper stay, just the way we did at the front piece. I'll attach it to the place that does not have the pepper stay and sew on it like this. I'll fold it in and also sew on top stitch it, and this is what we have. So this is what the skirt looks like after joining the back piece of the skirt. As you can see, I added the zipper and it was already looking good. I closed up the you have to double stitch on that part, the place where your opening started. You're going to double stitch on top of it. Okay, so I'll place my front piece on the back piece, right side facing right side. Okay, and I'm going to join the two sides of the skirt with my client's measurement. Okay, if you want it fitted, you will remove ½ inch from your client's measurement, ½ inch. If the hip divided by 2 is 24, you remove ½ inch, making it 23.5, so that it will fit very well without even your clients even have to shape it. Okay, so now we are going to join the two sides, and I'll come back and show you what it looks like. So this is what it looks like at the end of the video. After ironing and everything, it looks so beautiful and neat. Remember, I tagged this place, I tagged it very well so that it will not open. Or hey, see the curve? Did you see the butt contour, the hip contour effect? Okay, that's the reason for this particular video. It came out very well. So guys, as you can see, the waistband, it's looking neat. Please, if you watch this video till this moment, don't forget to subscribe, like, share and comment on my video. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys in my next video. Bye.